post on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio D Hotties. We are live on our Facebook page, Budajan, facebook.com again /Radio Day Hotties. Lines are open also for you to give us a call. 408-912-2479. So, I think, Faltwani, let's first of all, what do you have to say about this? Two cents from Faltwani.
मेरी कोई 2 सेंस नहीं है आल्तो बाबा. एक चीज़ तो ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि हम लोग शोक मनाते हैं जनरली व्हेन समबडी passes on from our realm. But one thing at Media Mahima that we do is हम लोग उनकी ज़िंदगी का जश्न मनाते हैं. यानी कि we actually celebrate their life. And as a part of our tradition in paying tribute to every person who has made a huge contribution or who has touched our lives in one way or another, and we felt that it is important that we actually do this for Saroj Khan ji, purely because देखिए कुछ ही ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो बिहाइंड द कैमरा काम करते हैं, जिनको रिकग्निशन मिलता है. आजकल चलो ठीक है, आजकल तो म्यूज़िक डायरेक्टर्स एंड फिल्म डायरेक्टर्स को थोड़ा बहुत और स्क्रिप्ट राइटर्स एंड लिरिसिस्ट को थोड़ी बहुत मतलब इम्पोर्टेंस मिल रही है. लेकिन हाउ मेनी पीपल एक्चुअली थिंक अबाउट हाउ ब्यूटिफुल दोज डांस मूव्स, और हाउ मेनी पीपल एक्चुअली थिंक अबाउट द पीपल हु आर दोज एक्स्ट्रास दैट आर डांसिंग along with Katrina Kaif or along with Madhuri Dixit or along with any one of the other people to kind of add, because all that adds to the song, right?
Yes, that's
or
true.
the person who put it together. So that is the reason that we believe that to make somebody a star, कोई पैदा होते ही स्टार नहीं बन जाता. सभी आलतू फालतू थोड़ा ना हो सकते हैं.
Well, actually, I'll tell you one thing. You very interesting brought this up. आज तो tribute दे रहे हैं, लेकिन let me tell you one thing. But if at all you want to take something away from people's existence, I should say it's the resolute nature and also the struggle which they've been through. Learn from it and also admire that part of it.
Right.
Khan, Miss Khan, actually, she actually had a very humble beginning in the industry, but even for the matter for to get recognized into the industry took some time as well. So she pretty much was in the industry ever since the age of 13, but that's what the data says about her being part of the industry ever since she was 13 years old. As she used to be a dance extra and dancing in the backgrounds of some of the heroines and everything. And unka jab break mila to Faltwani, it was pretty much like in the 80s. So you can say she's actually been part of the industry for the past 4 decades, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and even now till the date, COVID shelter in place aane tak unhone kaam kiya hai. How do you know this? Well, her most recent work was, you guys enjoyed it, the dance program, the dance for the music Ghar More Pardesiya, right? And to think that Saroj Khan was not a classically trained dancer is surprising. Yes, she wasn't a classically trained dancer, but still she had this passion for dancing. In fact, the first project she got, Faltwani, very interestingly, was a project she did for the directorial debut of Sadhana ji. So that was somewhere in the it's somewhere in the 70s, late 70s, something. She got a project from her, and that too because Sadhana ji felt that she was a very talented girl.
Okay.
That's why she gave her the project.
Okay.
And the movie was not very interestingly was not very famous. It was actually, again, see, it was female directors. Obviously, people did not support that, I suppose. That thing. But anyways, that was the thing. But she shot to fame. Saroj ji actually shot to fame when she started doing in the 80s, pretty much. When she started doing work for our Sri Devi ji.
Right.
Right. But we all know one song which really undeniably, even now, if Madhuri Dixit is Madhuri Dixit, it's because of that particular song.
Right, exactly.
You know which song we're talking about. I'm going to play a song for you guys. It's the movie Tezab, and that's the Mohini, right?
Yeah.
So enjoy the song and visualize the dance moves. You cannot miss it. If you look at her life, you'll know all her dance moves, all subtle, simple dance moves which become famous, and that's what Saroj Khan is all about. And remembering her and praying that her soul rests in peace. We are remembering some of her dance moves.
And I think with this launch, that signature step move, right? That
correct.
step that she does, where she kicks out one leg and she puts her hand up in the air, and that's such a simple step, a very complicated step to perform gracefully without looking like your body is going all over the place or shaking too many things.
Well, we'll talk about all the dance moves, Buljan. In fact, this is what she already talked about, Fatwani. Watch it to understand it. We'll be back after the song. Jan, that was a beautiful dance of, Madhuri Dixit actually dancing on this. Well, Madhuri Dixit actually, you might say, oh, she's a very good dancer. अरे जितना भी अच्छे dancer हो, अगर choreography ठीक नहीं है तो क्या करेंगे लोग, right?
Yeah, and I think Saroj Khan actually had this special relationship with Madhuri Dixit. In every single one of her movies, even in Devdas.
Yeah.
If you guys, na 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 na, वो गाना क्या है?
Hara lang dala. Well, actually,
in that, apparently, also, every single refrain of the song, right? Each antra or each refrain, Saroj Khan ji wanted Madhuri to perform a different style for each refrain.
Wow.
So she choreographed a different style. So, we don't look at the finer, subtler aspects of things, right? When we're looking at a movie.
Well, that's exactly what makes a difference, Buddhajan. Finer, subtler things is what actually makes the difference. And, I would love to see if we can play. This is not going to be a show about Madhuri Dixit. Yes, no, it's not.
It's
but
not.
the thing is, some of the best works of Saroj Khan ji actually has been with Madhuri Dixit. That's why we would like to feature those things, because you will
Right.
see, and guess what, Falguni? Actually speaking, when I said she's not had formal training, she really has not had formal training. She's had something called as an informal training by a dance master she worked for
Yeah.
at that tender age of 13, some when she was in teens.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was this gentleman probably mentored her to dance, I suppose, taught her some moves, was very strict, and she acknowledges the fact that if she is a good dancer right now,
Yeah.
she thanks him for it. Though
Right.
she had a raw deal with him, and she never actually said anything bad about it. She said that if she's a good dancer now, it's because of the little bit of training she got from the gentleman. I think his name was. I'm so bad at this, Munijan. I wish I could remember the names offhand. There was this. Oh my God. His name was Vadadi. You gotta help me out here. What is this? Sometimes I forget all these things. Right?
Was it Mr. Khan? I don't know. Well, here is.
What? Seriously, Vadadi, suddenly Mr. Khan.
Well, no.
It was called Mr. Sohan Lal. Mr.
Okay.
Sohan Lal was the person who was his, I think, first husband kind of thing, because he kind of mentored her, but also got married in spite of him already being married already.
No, he actually wasn't her husband. He basically. So she was only 13 at that age, Panujan. It is today we know it as sexual abuse, right?
Yeah.
And he basically took advantage of her, and then
She did
gave
have
her
two
a child.
kids,
Yeah.
two children from.
Made her pregnant, and then he left her.
He also refused to give them his last name, so that was the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the thing is, everybody's been through stuff and everything, right?
Yeah, she's been through. I mean, to think that she had this big smile on her face. Every single photograph you see, she has the smile on her face.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't realize the pain that they're hiding, right? And even in her documentary or a feature that was made on her, right? One of the legends, she basically, the camera goes to a close up to her, and then she's smiling, and then it cuts, right? At that point, it goes to the different family members, and she also went through a lot of strife, even not only with regard to the loss of her love, but also the loss of something very, very dear to her, and losing a child to an unceasing illness. That was another thing. She went through a lot, but those people who brave on and make happiness a choice, those are the kind of people that we think are worth celebrating, and those are the people who really we need to learn from.
Yeah.
And it was really saddening when we were reading, as we were doing our research today, to read. I mean, in fact, we didn't know anything about this. And it's sad, isn't it, that many of us don't look at that?
It is. And second thing is, this particular year has been a really tough year for the industry itself.
Yeah.
Because we bid adieu or farewell to some of our loved ones. Starting with this, news of Irfan Khan Saab.
Yeah.
And then we had immediately after Irfan Khan's, pretty much the second day, or we had the unfortunate story of Rishi Kumar Saab actually
Rishi
passing
Kapoor
on.
Saab.
Rishi Kapoor Saab passing on. And then after recently we had Sushant Singh Rajput.
Yeah.
And in between, there many other stars also passed on, by the way, which we, they were not been very impactful for people to know about it, but they definitely did pass on. And Abhi, this is a big blow. But I would say she was one of that particular era of music directors,
Yeah.
not music directors, dance directors,
Yeah.
who we're going to miss for sure. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Badajan, her maiden name or whatever, before her Saroj Khan assumed name, her name was Nirmala Nagpal.
Oi, hoi.
Yeah, and she was born. Actually, Altu will be very proud now if I say she's like a cusp between a Scorpio and a Saggy.
I always knew it,
November
Fatwadi.
22nd.
I always knew it, Fatwadi. Creative people, Fatwadi. Can't help it.
Yes, and she was actually born to a very prosperous businessman called Kishan Chand Sadhu Singh and Noni Singh, his wife, and they were in Pakistan. But apparently, during the violent partition,
Wow.
the riots and everything that happened at that time, Madhujan, they lost everything during that time. So he and his wife actually had to move to Mumbai with the kids, starting over in a very tiny room in a slum. And that's the hardship that she went through.
Yeah, she was the
And
first
she
of
was-
the 6 children, right?
Yeah, she was born there, and then she recalls, apparently her love for dance started she used to dance with the shadows
Uh-huh.
as a toddler. जब वो छोटी छोटी होती थी, that time she used to dance, fascinated by what would ultimately become her life's calling. You know, that she would be the person who would make people dance to her moves. And of course, to supplement her father's and her, you know, her family income, she managed to become a child actress, and she was called Baby Saroj.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how she started in the industry.
Well, just right now we just heard a song which was totally a non-classical song,
Right.
a total Bollywood style song, which
Yeah.
actually choreography also is very unique. The dance forms now we call it Bollywood dance. Then it was not called that, by the way. Let me tell you one thing. That time there was no concept of Bollywood at all in the first place.
Yes, exactly.
There was just Indian cinema. But now this beauty about Saroj Khan ji was the fact that she could do choreography for any kind of music.
Correct.
Now, a few minutes ago, actually, Fatri referred to a song called Mar Dala from the movie Devdas.
Yeah.
Listen to the song, Banj, and you will think it's a classical song. It is a classical song, has Kathak moves in it, and you'll go, wow, really? We'll come back to that right now. Listen to the song. I'll be back after the song with more information, or should I say more, stuff about the wonderful choreographer, creative mind, Saroj Khan ji.
ये किसका है साया हुई दिल में दस्तक यहाँ कौन आया हम पे ये किसने हरा रंग डाला हम पे ये किसने हरा रंग डाला खुशी ने हमारी हमें मार डाला मार डाला मार डाला हाँ मार डाला किसने हरा रंग डाला खुशी ने हमारी हमें मार डाला हमें मार डाला हमें मार डाला ना चांद हथेली पर सजाया ना तारों से कोई भी रिश्ता बनाया न रब से भी कोई शिकायत की हर गम को हमने छुपाया हर सितम को हंस के उठाया कांटों को भी गले से लगाया और फूलों से जख्म खाया हम मगर दुआ में जब ये हाथ उठाया हम मगर दुआ में जब ये हाथ उठाया खुदा से दुआ में तुम्हें मांग डाला मांग डाला अल्लाह मांग डाला अल्लाह मांग डाला हमें मार डाला हमें मार डाला हमें मार डाला अल्लाह
Allah, my God, Father, I'll tell you one thing. This really going to miss Saroj Khan ji's dance performances.
Well,
I would say her lessons. You know, there used to be she was I think towards the later part of her life, she was a judge in some of the dancing shows, right? And I used to always think the way she used to talk was totally out of experience.
right.
And I recently I saw some of the shows where some of a program actually where she was teaching expression, how to वो जो भाव बोलते हैं ना And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful the way she has said it. I'd never known about Balaji. Unfortunately, I never had followed the life of Saroj Khan ji. See, I am totally owning up to it right now. That's a
Yeah.
fact. We all, unfortunately, we think about them once they're gone. And yes, I do remember once Mahima ji done a show about dance in Indian
Yeah.
Indian industry.
Yeah.
And starting from the yesteryears, Kathak dancers used to be like dance masters, as to call them.
Right.
And how Saroj Khan brought in the newness to the whole situation. Do you remember that, Falguni?
Yes, absolutely. And specifically, we talked about, she talked about how some actresses, especially Madhuji, should give complete credit
Yes.
to what they are today to Saroj Khanji, because what sets you apart as an actor? See, either you're drop dead gorgeous, and even if you're drop dead gorgeous, if you don't have the charisma, you really will not, or you don't have the right, like what happened in Sushant Singh Rajput's case, right? Like you don't have the right godfathers or whatever, you don't really make it in the industry.
Yeah.
Even if you have the most exceptional talent, you don't. But there has to be something that sets you apart. Like unfortunately, India mein Gori Chitti, she was not in that category at that particular point in time, and she
was
didn't
a
have that.
petite figure. She was not very fair. Right?
Yeah, and she didn't have the best complexion apparently.
Correct.
But one thing that totally set her apart was that she was first of all, a classically trained, Madhuri Dixit is an amazing classically trained Kathak dancer. Aside from the fact that she found somebody like Saroj Khan who capitalized on her stature and her, her grace, to build steps for her for each thing, which made her stand out. Like even today, if you think about it, you immediately remember that one particular thing where the dua, that particular step is so beautiful. She just goes like that, and then she goes like this up. I mean, you know what I mean? For those of you listening to us on the...
people, if you notice the style of dancing, which is the Mujra style of dancing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever liked any Mujra style dancing at all, because it's be like so boring sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Save a few old movies where we had Madhubala and all that time, they had actually Kathak dancers who were doing the choreography also.
Exactly.
Kathak masters, maestros actually of those times.
Otherwise, you'd have a Meena Kumari sitting down with all the thing, and then
Correct.
just doing this
and the
this.
small Ada and all. But of course, and Rekha ruined it for me actually. Where she would just sit around and just actually act like I was very beautiful, but she was not. The point was, this particular song of Devdas with Madhuri Dixit was so mesmerizing.
Yeah.
The movements, every single subtlety was awesome.
Huh.
So here's the thing. Now, having talked about that, let me also bring to attention that this particular person we're talking about, Saroj Khan ji, right? She was such a creative soul.
Huh.
And we talked about the fact that she came in industry at the time when I call it dark age of cinema.
Right. Right.
80s. But she stood out in the 80s.
Yeah.
And she stood out because of the work she did. And I want to play, we've been doing Western, classical and Western right now.
Huh.
Disco era was there, the pretty much 80s, right?
Right.
Yeah, so back into the 80s, I was 90s mein, there was a beautiful song which came out. So late 80s is when even Madhuri Dixit came in existence, correct, into the industry.
Yeah, but before that, there was one other person who was technically who brought sensuality into Hindi cinema.
Whoa.
And that was a buxom South Indian bombshell. That
When you
was
say Buxom, we all know who you're talking about.
We're talking about I mean, of course, before that you had the gorgeous Vajanti Mala and Padmini and all these people. But, post them, you had Hema Malini, who we have our own reservations about her dancing. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
who's a classically trained dancer, but honestly,
Sorry. No, no.
we don't very much like Hema Malini's style of dancing.
We say it out loud. We don't. We say it the way we see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and we are, when it comes to classical Bharatanatyam, we are
Snobs.
Bharatanatyam snobs,
Yeah,
Manajan.
we
Whether
are.
you like it or not, Kalakshetra products,
Yes.
put it there, we
Put it
are
there,
Bharatanatyam
yeah.
snobs. So, but after that, the person who sort of brought the whole South Indian, not South Indian, I would say who brought sensuality into literally sensuality into Hindi film industry was, of course, none other than Sridevi.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest pluses for and nobody, when the moment you think about Sridevi, you cannot forget those contact lenses that she wears. And then she goes,
even her chulbuli eyes.
yeah.
You remember Mahimaji talked about the fact that she was in her dance, she became popular because she used to flirt with the camera.
Yeah. Sridevi ji's, I mean, if you heard our tribute show, you would have heard that, Manoj, we did talk about that. She literally, this is what Mahima ji used to say, Sridevi made love to the camera. That's what it is. And that's how people started becoming mesmerized by Sridevi more than anything else, purely because of the fact that, as an actor or an actress, you lose complete inhibition in front of the camera and you become that particular character. So,
Do I think that you're alluding towards a particular song which I'm thinking about right now?
there was one song which I do want to tell you about. I'm going to lead to another song. I'll tell you about that. But before, which Saroj Khan ji herself choreographed.
Okay.
One song that I really liked was, in 1986, she choreographed this movie. मैं तेरी दुश्मन तो मैं, and snake dance is not a forte of Sridevi.
No, it's not.
But if you see that, you will think, wow, my God, she's such an awesome snake dancer.
Well, that's the beauty about the dance directors who give dance steps which will make them. So I should always ask, Mahima ji, like Mr. Kabir is a wonderful dancer.
Yeah.
Amitabh Bachchan, But how come Amitabh Bachchan is able to come in as dance and all?
Yeah.
Because she's always like, it's not the question of them. The dance directors to make them make sure that, like for Sanjay Dutt, for instance, zero dance knowledge.
Yeah.
But the steps you give them, which makes them comfortable to make it seem like as though they're dancing.
Right.
Right? That's the beauty about the dance director, and Saroj Khan actually excelled in that.
Right, exactly. So we don't want to play Main Teri Dushman because we already played your classical style song.
Correct, yeah.
There's another song. The same Sridevi brings out all her oomph and her sensuality. And in this particular song, there's also the way Saroj Khan ji has choreographed. Now, choreography doesn't just involve कि ऐसे लटके झटके ऐसे मारने का.
The comedy, right?
Exactly. The comedy that she brings into this.
I was thinking of the same thing for this. I'm saying the same thing, yes.
And that set Sridevi apart as an actress, as opposed to anybody else in the industry. You had Jayaprada, you had Meenakshi Sheshadri, who were all the serious classical dance type heroines.
Correct.
But Sridevi kind of took that leap because she appealed to a funny bone.
But thanks to the dance direction of one of these creative dance directors who we unfortunately lost yesterday, Saroj Khan ji. So, are you referring to the same song, Mr. India?
Yes.
Mugabo. Well, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about the fact that it's very difficult if you know to dance like somebody who doesn't know to dance.
Yeah.
So this particular choreography is such that, the comedy, the choreography is such that it's a dancer who's not a dancer. If you know the story of Mr. India, you know she's a journalist. She's not a dancer. And what choreography, and hats off for Saroj Khan ji.
And how beautifully she used Sridevi's expressive face. And Sridevi had knock knees, Panchan.
Yes.
Her knock knee style dancing and how that using those.
Okay, now everybody is thinking like, oh my God, how can you be so judgmental about it? We can say it.
No, it is not judgmental, Banjan. You know, every one of us has our own kinks in our bodies, right?
Of course, yes.
But how do you...
Excuse me, I don't. I'm in perfect shape, Banujan.
Well,
it's called
everybody,
round.
and it depends on how you bring out what is positive about you, and that's the beauty about a dance director. That's the beauty about a director.
Correct.
And a cameraman, also a makeup artist, a hair person, every single person who plays that role in making that star a star.
Yeah.
And today we are paying tribute to that star who made these people the stars that they were, the dancing stars.
And again, I want to say this, Banujan, come to the close of our show right now. Next hour is going to be again a tribute show for R.D. Waman Saab, whose birth anniversary was last Saturday. It's part 2 of the show, Anmol Lag Me. It's coming up now, but I can tell you again, it's impossible for us to, showcase one life of a person who had 4 decades of existence in the industry and giving us some wonderful dance moves. All we can tell is we're going to miss her because she's going to remember in our happy memories for all the wonderful songs she's done. Hopefully we'll bring back one more show for you guys.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
we will. And we will bring back her signature moves, Bandajan. That's what
Definitely
we'll
we will.
do.
And we'll listen to a PAMPAM show. Probably will come next Monday for you guys. But abhi ke liye, we're going to leave you with one more classical composition of hers.
From her latest, the last movie I think that she was part of, right?
Yeah, with Madhuri Dixit in it.
With Madhuri Dixit and Alia Bhatt. Watch this particular song, Bandajan. Not the movie. The movie is, please. But the song is a treat, a visual treat. So again, wishing that her soul rest in eternal peace. Saroj Khan ji, we love you, and you will stay on in the hearts of all those people that you touched with your beautiful moves and your beautiful personality. इसी के साथ good night, शबा खैर and a प्यार भरा
Mwah!
राह निहारे रघुवर तेरी राह निहारे सातों जन्म से सिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया दीन तदन देना दीन तदन देना समा सगा गम बसा गम बनी गम बनी द मम गरे गम द रे मम द मम नी द मम गम रे जनी ज रे मम प प ग द म नी रे सनी द नी द मम प द नी द मम गरे गरे सनी ज रे ना तो मैया की लोरी ना ही फागुन की होरी मोहे कुछ दूसरा ना भाई रे जब से नैना ये जाके एक धनुर्धर से लागे तब से बिरहा मोहे सताए रे दुविधा मेरी सब जग जाने जाने न निर्मोहिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया
Bandajan, this is your darling प्यारी महिमा की दुलारी फालतू रानी. I hope you're enjoying every one of these.